Welcome back, Sigma Sisters. Have you ever wondered why some women choose independence over romantic relationships? Today we're diving into the mindset of Sigma females, the independent women who live life on their own terms and value their freedom above all else. In this video, we'll explore the 10 core reasons why Sigma females often detach from men, driven by their desire for authenticity, self-respect, and autonomy. Stick around as we break it all down, and don't forget to subscribe to the Sigma Sisterhood channel for more empowering insights. Let's dive in. Number 1. Embracing solitude. At the top of the list is perhaps the most defining trait of a Sigma female, her deep appreciation for solitude. For Sigma women, alone time isn't just a preference, it's essential for their mental and emotional well-being. Unlike many who fear being alone, Sigma females find comfort and clarity in solitude. It's a time for reflection, personal growth, and recharging their energy. In relationships, this need for space can sometimes be misunderstood. Some might interpret their desire for alone time as disinterest or detachment, but that's far from the truth. Sigma females simply recognize that in order to maintain their sense of self, they must have moments of separation from others, even the people they love. This solitude allows them to stay grounded, true to their core values, and focused on their personal ambitions. The challenge comes when a partner doesn't respect this need. Sigma females are fiercely protective of their boundaries, and if a man tries to infringe on their personal space, it can lead to a natural detachment. They don't believe in being emotionally or physically overdependent on anyone, and they expect their partners to understand that independence is a non-negotiable aspect of their character. It's not that they don't value relationships or meaningful connections, quite the opposite, but they know that too much time spent together can suffocate the individuality they've worked hard to maintain. A Sigma female is much more likely to thrive in a relationship where both partners have room to breathe, to explore their own interests, and to nurture their own growth. Solitude also serves as a form of self-preservation. In a world that often pressures people to conform or settle for less, Sigma females retreat into their personal space to reaffirm their own path and choices. For them, alone time is an opportunity to remind themselves of who they are, what they stand for, and where they're headed. So, while some may see their detachment as coldness, it's actually a powerful act of self-care and self-respect. A Sigma female won't sacrifice her need for solitude, and any partner who truly understands her will respect and embrace this essential part of her life. Number 2. Perception of modern men's unrealistic expectations. Sigma females often view modern societal expectations with a critical lens, particularly when it comes to relationships. In today's world, many women are expected to juggle demanding careers, maintain flawless appearances, and seamlessly manage personal lives. These pressures can be overwhelming, and Sigma females are quick to recognize the strain these expectations place on their mental health and relationships. When it comes to men, Sigma females often observe that many have inherited or absorbed these unrealistic standards. There's a societal undercurrent that suggests women should be nurturing, emotionally available, and supportive of their partner's needs, while also excelling in their own careers and maintaining a certain physical appearance. Sigma females reject these pressures. They refuse to mold themselves to fit anyone's preconceived notions of what a partner should be. For Sigma females, authenticity is paramount. They are not interested in conforming to anyone else's ideal or playing the traditional roles that society expects. In relationships, they seek partners who can appreciate them for who they truly are, not for how well they fit into a specific mold. If a man comes into the relationship with a laundry list of expectations, whether it's physical, emotional, or social, he's likely to be disappointed. Sigma females won't compromise their individuality to meet someone else's vision of perfection. This attitude can lead to a natural detachment from men who embody these unrealistic expectations. Sigma females would rather remain independent than sacrifice their autonomy to meet the unspoken demands placed on women today. They are fully aware of the pressures modern relationships can bring, and they refuse to be part of a dynamic that places those burdens unfairly on them. Instead, Sigma females look for relationships that allow for equality and mutual respect. They seek partners who are as comfortable with their own identity as they are with theirs. Relationships with Sigma females thrive when both individuals are allowed to express themselves authentically, free from the constraints of societal expectations. For a Sigma female, the idea of bending to meet someone's unrealistic standards is not just undesirable, it's a deal breaker. If a relationship starts to feel like an imposition on their autonomy, they won't hesitate to step back or detach entirely, prioritizing their peace and authenticity over societal pressures. Number 3. Fear of commitment. While Sigma females are fully capable of forming deep and meaningful connections, the concept of commitment can be a daunting one for them. It's not because they don't care or lack emotional depth. Rather, it's their fierce independence that makes long-term commitment feel like a potential threat to their autonomy. In relationships, commitment often comes with expectations, sharing every aspect of life, sacrificing personal freedom, and intertwining one's future with someone else's. For Sigma females, the idea of losing their ability to make decisions solely based on their own needs and desires can be unsettling. They're not afraid of love, but they are wary of what commitment might require them to give up. A Sigma female values her freedom above all else. She has spent years forging her own path, making decisions that align with her goals and values, and maintaining a lifestyle that allows her to thrive independently. The fear of commitment stems from the concern that, in merging her life with someone else's, she might lose her ability to live life on her own terms. This doesn't mean Sigma females are incapable of love or long-term relationships. In fact, when they do commit, they do so with the full intention of building something meaningful. However, they are selective about who they commit to. For them, a relationship has to be one where both individuals maintain their independence, respect each other's boundaries, and allow room for personal growth. Sigma females also shy away from societal pressures that glorify the perfect relationship. The idea of constantly being in sync, never having conflicts, and always putting the partner's needs first doesn't align with their realistic approach to life. They believe that a healthy relationship is one where both partners can express their individual needs and still maintain a sense of self. In many cases, this fear of commitment leads Sigma females to keep a certain emotional distance until they are absolutely sure that the relationship won't compromise their freedom. They may appear aloof or detached, but it's simply a way of protecting their independence. For them, the stakes are high. Commitment isn't something to rush into without careful consideration. Number 4. Desire for intellectual stimulation. Sigma females are deeply driven by curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. They crave intellectual stimulation, which is often a core aspect of their personality. For them, the allure of deep, thought-provoking conversations far outweighs the superficial small talk that dominates many social interactions. This hunger for intellectual growth influences their relationships, including their romantic choices. In a world where casual conversations often center around gossip, fleeting trends, or surface-level topics, Sigma females stand out as seekers of depth. They prefer discussions that challenge their minds, philosophical debates, explorations of human behavior, or even contemplations on the nature of the universe. For them, these conversations are not just enjoyable but necessary. They serve as mental fuel, keeping their intellect sharp and their sense of curiosity alive. This need for intellectual stimulation often drives Sigma females to detach from men who can't meet them on this mental level. If a romantic partner is unable to engage in meaningful discussions or lacks the desire to explore deeper topics, the relationship may begin to feel stagnant. Sigma females don't seek just physical attraction or emotional connection. They want someone who stimulates their mind as much as their heart. When they don't find that intellectual match, they're quick to withdraw, preferring solitude or the company of like-minded individuals who can meet their intellectual needs. It's not that Sigma females look down on those who don't share their intellectual pursuits, but they know themselves well enough to recognize that a lack of intellectual connection can lead to dissatisfaction. They are much more likely to form strong bonds with those who can challenge their thinking, inspire new ideas, and offer fresh perspectives. Whether it's through discussing the latest book they've read, delving into political theory, or analyzing societal trends, Sigma females thrive on the exchange of ideas. In romantic relationships, this intellectual craving can sometimes create a disconnect if their partner doesn't share the same passion for deep conversations. Sigma females are not interested in surface-level relationships or those built solely on physical attraction. If the intellectual connection is missing, they will eventually drift away, feeling unfulfilled and disconnected. To thrive in a relationship, Sigma females need more than just love or companionship. They need a partner who understands and appreciates the power of the mind. A relationship with a Sigma female is much more likely to flourish when both individuals can connect on a cerebral level, exploring ideas, theories, and concepts together. Without this mental connection, the relationship may feel shallow or limiting, leading Sigma females to seek intellectual fulfillment elsewhere, whether through friendships, books, or personal reflection. Number 5. Keeping feelings reserved. Unlike those who wear their hearts on their sleeves, Sigma females often keep their emotions under tight control. They are selective about when, where, and with whom they share their deepest feelings. This doesn't mean that they're cold or emotionally unavailable. It simply means that they approach emotions with caution and care. They understand the value of emotional boundaries, and they're not quick to open up until they've built a strong foundation of trust. This reserved nature can sometimes be misunderstood as aloofness or disinterest, especially in romantic relationships. Partners may wonder why a Sigma female isn't as openly affectionate or emotionally transparent as others. But for a Sigma female, revealing her emotions is not something to be done lightly. She believes that true emotional connection comes from mutual understanding and respect, not from simply pouring out feelings for the sake of vulnerability. Sigma females approach emotions much like they approach life, with a sense of purpose and intention. They don't engage in emotional outbursts or dramatic displays of affection, preferring instead to express their feelings in more thoughtful and deliberate ways. When a Sigma female does share her emotions, it's a meaningful act. She's not one to engage in superficial displays of affection, and she doesn't believe in saying things she doesn't truly mean. In relationships, this emotional reserve can create distance if the partner doesn't understand or appreciate this aspect of her personality. Sigma females are not interested in constant emotional validation or reassurance. They value emotional autonomy and believe that a strong relationship doesn't require constant displays of affection to prove its worth. However, this doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. In fact, Sigma females often experience emotions intensely, but they choose to keep them private until they're certain that sharing them will be met with understanding and respect. They prefer relationships where emotional expression is balanced, where both partners feel secure without needing to constantly validate each other's feelings. For Sigma females, it's not about avoiding emotions but managing them in a way that aligns with their sense of independence. They avoid emotional drama and prefer to keep their feelings reserved until they feel the moment is right. This emotional restraint allows them to maintain control over their lives and protect themselves from unnecessary heartache or turmoil. In the right relationship, Sigma females will eventually open up, revealing their emotional depths. But this takes time and patience. A partner who understands the value of emotional boundaries and respects the Sigma female's need for personal space will find a deep, meaningful connection waiting beneath the surface. Number 6. Resistance to manipulation. Sigma females have an innate resistance to manipulation, which is deeply rooted in their value of independence and authenticity. They have a finely tuned radar for detecting any attempts to control or influence their decisions through manipulation or deceit. This sensitivity is a significant aspect of their personality, driving them to avoid relationships where manipulation is present, whether it's overt or subtle. In interactions, Sigma females are incredibly perceptive. They can spot emotional manipulation, guilt trips, or power plays from a distance. They approach relationships with a high degree of vigilance, aware that some people might try to exploit their compassion or independence for personal gain. This doesn't mean they don't trust easily. It means they place a high premium on transparency and fairness. When faced with manipulative behavior, Sigma females don't hesitate to set firm boundaries. They are not interested in engaging in emotional games or power struggles. Instead, they prefer relationships built on mutual respect, honesty, and open communication. If they sense that someone is attempting to manipulate them, they are quick to call it out and distance themselves if necessary. This resistance to manipulation is not about being untrusting or difficult. It's about preserving their autonomy and maintaining relationships that are genuine and respectful. Sigma females are firm in their belief that relationships should be straightforward and based on true understanding, not on emotional manipulation. They are drawn to partners who respect their boundaries and who are clear about their intentions. By keeping a watchful eye for manipulation, Sigma females ensure that their relationships remain healthy and balanced. They are committed to protecting their emotional well-being and are unwilling to settle for dynamics that involve control or deceit. This vigilance might lead them to distance themselves from individuals who don't align with their values, but it also helps them cultivate relationships that are honest and fulfilling. Number 7. Emotional detachment as a coping mechanism. For Sigma females, emotional detachment is often used as a coping mechanism rather than a reflection of their true feelings. This strategy is employed to manage the intensity of emotions and protect themselves from potential heartache. Sigma females are aware of how deep emotional involvement can impact their sense of balance and stability, so they use detachment to maintain control over their emotional landscape. This form of emotional distance allows them to navigate relationships without being overwhelmed by the highs and lows of romantic attachment. It's a way to protect themselves from the volatility that can come with deep emotional connections. By keeping a certain level of detachment, Sigma females can engage in relationships without losing their sense of self or becoming overly dependent on their partner for emotional stability. Emotional detachment does not mean that Sigma females are unfeeling or incapable of forming close bonds. Instead, it's about maintaining a balance between vulnerability and self-protection. This approach helps them avoid the potential pain and chaos that can accompany intense emotional entanglements. It's a pragmatic way of handling emotions, ensuring that they remain grounded and true to themselves even as they engage with others. This strategy might lead others to perceive them as distant or unapproachable, but for Sigma females, it's a necessary measure for preserving their emotional health. They understand that while deep emotional connections are valuable, they also come with risks. By keeping their emotions in check, they ensure that their relationships are sustainable and don't compromise their overall well-being. Ultimately, emotional detachment is about managing their own emotional state rather than avoiding connections. Sigma females value their mental and emotional equilibrium and use detachment as a tool to maintain it, ensuring that their relationships are both meaningful and manageable. Number 8. Philosophical disillusionment with romance. Sigma females often experience a philosophical disillusionment with the conventional notions of romance. They see through the idealized portrayals of love that are commonly perpetuated by media and societal norms. For Sigma females, the fairy tale versions of romance often feel superficial and disconnected from their reality. They approach relationships with a realistic and sometimes skeptical view, questioning the depth and authenticity of societal expectations surrounding love. The glossy depictions of perfect couples and idealized love stories seem to lack the substance and complexity that Sigma females crave. They are more interested in genuine, profound connections rather than the shallow or idealized versions of romance often portrayed in popular culture. This disillusionment leads Sigma females to prioritize authenticity over conforming to romantic cliches. They are not swayed by the societal pressure to seek out relationships that fit a certain mold or meet specific criteria. Instead, they value relationships that offer real emotional depth and mutual understanding. As a result, Sigma females might choose to remain single or detach from romantic pursuits if they find the available options lacking in authenticity. They prefer solitude or engaging in connections that align with their values and perspectives on love. For them, a meaningful relationship is one that goes beyond surface-level attraction and embraces a deeper, more genuine connection. Their philosophical outlook helps them navigate the complexities of romance with a clear sense of what they truly want and need. They are not interested in settling for relationships that don't meet their standards for depth and sincerity. This discerning approach allows them to avoid the pitfalls of conventional romantic expectations and focus on connections that resonate with their true selves. Number 9. Fear of losing their sense of identity. One of the primary reasons Sigma females choose to detach from men is their fear of losing their sense of identity in a relationship. Sigma females place a high value on their individuality and independence. They have carefully built their lives around their personal goals, values, and sense of self, and the prospect of a relationship that might compromise this autonomy is a significant concern. In a relationship, the dynamics can sometimes blur personal boundaries, leading to a blending of identities where one partner's needs and expectations overshadow the other's individuality. Sigma females are wary of this loss of personal identity. They cherish their freedom to make decisions based on their own desires and goals, without having to constantly consider how their choices will affect a partner. This fear doesn't stem from a lack of willingness to compromise or from being selfish. Instead, it reflects a deep commitment to maintaining a sense of self. Sigma females are capable of deep affection and meaningful connections, but they want to ensure that their individuality remains intact. They seek relationships where their independence is respected and where both partners can grow as individuals while being together. For Sigma females, preserving their identity means maintaining a balance between their personal space and their partner's presence. They want to ensure that their relationships enhance their lives without overwhelming their sense of self. If a relationship starts to threaten this balance, they may naturally detach to protect their autonomy. This approach allows Sigma females to engage in relationships that support their growth, rather than stifling it. They are selective about partners who understand and value their need for independence and who are willing to nurture a relationship that respects personal boundaries. Number 10. Avoiding inducing guilt. Sigma females are known for their commitment to honesty and integrity. They avoid using guilt or emotional manipulation as a means of influencing others. For them, relationships are built on straightforward communication and mutual respect rather than emotional games or guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is often used as a tactic to control or manipulate emotions, but Sigma females reject this approach. They believe in addressing issues directly and openly, valuing transparency over deceit. Their interactions are grounded in fairness and honesty, and they expect the same in return. When conflicts arise, Sigma females prefer to resolve them through constructive dialogue rather than by playing emotional games. They are not interested in creating power struggles or emotional tug-of-wars. Instead, they focus on finding solutions that respect both parties' perspectives and foster a genuine connection. By avoiding guilt-inducing tactics, Sigma females create a healthier dynamic in their relationships. They believe that trust and respect are built through clear communication and mutual understanding. They are not willing to use guilt as a tool to influence others or to manipulate emotions, as they see this as counterproductive to building authentic relationships. This commitment to honest communication helps Sigma females maintain strong, respectful connections with those around them. They value relationships where both individuals can express their needs and concerns openly, without resorting to emotional manipulation. This approach not only fosters trust, but also encourages a more genuine and respectful relationship dynamic. In summary, Sigma females' avoidance of guilt and manipulation reflects their dedication to integrity and fairness. They are determined to build relationships based on truth and mutual respect, steering clear of tactics that undermine these values. The journey through the world of Sigma females reveals a complex tapestry of values, behaviors, and principles that guide their interactions and relationships. These independent and self-reliant women navigate their lives with a clear sense of identity, driven by authenticity and self-respect. Their detachment from romantic relationships often stems from a deep-seated commitment to preserving their individuality, avoiding manipulation, and seeking genuine connections. Sigma females are not merely solitary by choice. Rather, their detachment is a strategic decision to safeguard their emotional well-being and maintain their sense of self. Their resistance to emotional manipulation, fear of losing their identity, and philosophical disillusionment with conventional romance all play crucial roles in shaping their relationship dynamics. They value clear, honest communication and strive to build connections based on mutual respect and intellectual stimulation. Their approach to relationships is characterized by a cautious yet discerning mindset. They are selective in their pursuits, aiming to engage in interactions that align with their principles and offer real, meaningful connections. This selectivity is not about avoiding relationships altogether, but about ensuring that their personal values and sense of self are honored within any partnership. Sigma females also demonstrate a remarkable ability to balance their independence with their need for connection. They understand the importance of solitude as a means of self-preservation and emotional clarity. This balance allows them to navigate relationships with a sense of autonomy, while remaining open to genuine connections that enhance their lives. In essence, Sigma females' detachment from men is a reflection of their commitment to authenticity, independence, and emotional integrity. They navigate the complexities of modern relationships with a clear sense of their own values and boundaries. By staying true to themselves and avoiding relationships that compromise their sense of identity, they ensure that their interactions are both meaningful and respectful. Thank you for exploring the world of Sigma females with us. If you found this insight valuable, don't forget to join the conversation by sharing your thoughts in the comments below. For more content on understanding Sigma females and their unique perspectives, make sure to subscribe to the Sigma Sisterhood channel. Let's continue building a community of empowerment and understanding together.